Yo, what's up, YouTube family? How you doing? This is Kofi Baraka, and right now you're in Kofi Baraka's world. This is episode 4 of season 2, and it's entitled "Chosen Ones: The War on the Original People." So this one's gonna be an interesting one, as always. um, we're gonna begin with a prayer. God, universe, um, benevolent Father, Mother Earth, thank you for this time. Thank you for blessing the chosen ones, the star seeds, and thank you for this righteous day. Amin Ra, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. All right. So, like I said before, we're talking about the war on original people. Of course, we're the original people, the American Aborigine, and my first point is environmental war. So, in some cases, we're in present day segregation, which includes, even back in the day in the 30s and 40s, redlining and also having older buildings made from the 20s and 30s. So now you got lead, you got secondary living, you know what I mean? You know, you might even have mold, and that affects the children in terms of their brain development. God forbid you got smaller kids. So you got that going on. Also, you got old schools because you're in the old neighborhood, secondary. So they made a community in 1910 for people of privilege or white folks, and then they allowed black people to live there like in the 40s and 50s, and now it's like the 2000s, so that building is super old. It's just not good for you in terms of humans are not supposed to live in buildings that old, point blank. You shouldn't live in a building that's older than your grandma. So, also you got ghettos. Within the ghettos, you got trash, you got rodents, you got faulty water, you have crime, drugs, food deserts. You know, if you live in a hood, you probably gotta go maybe 10, 15 miles out, sometimes 5 miles out, just to go to a decent supermarket. And if that's not the case, if it's a mini mart or a food market, 85, 95% full of high fructose corn syrup. So it's like you really can't win. You know what I mean? It's like an A plus and bullshit. So, and then just to continue on, we got point 2, which is the genetic war. So, us being 9 series DEA beings compared to the 6 series DNA beings that's on this earth, we're dominant in everything we touch, point blank. That's why we lead in sports, education, politics, business, spirituality, etc., etc. We got chromosomes. Some people got autosomes. And I got that from Rashid Jamal. Of course, big ups to you, man. And also, God first. We also got plasma centers, which is legally taking your genetic makeup. I had an episode about that. Like I said before, we got the high fructose corn syrup, which basically is the destruction of our DEA. We also got vaccinations right now, which is horrible because they bring forth ADD, ADHD now, autism, Asperger's syndrome, learning disabilities. So that's the reason why there's a big ass population of special ed in the urban community, as well as like seeing the foods that they have for us and the environment you're in, what you would expect, and they place you in that special education on life skills on purpose to have you be behind by the time you're an adult, not knowing you're 9 series. So now we got my third point. So we got the educational war. So with the educational war, they never teach you this about this in school or in history. That we created and we invented everything. You know what I mean? Also, too, with the educational war, like I just said, special ed. So it's like you're keeping the children behind. You have a negative isolation. You know, back in the day, they used to call it the carpet classes. You know what I mean? Because they didn't want you to hurt yourself. So sometimes like you wouldn't have hard floor classrooms, or you have soft chairs. You know what I mean? That's how you use in special ed too. 6 people in the class, 5 teachers. You know what I mean? And this is a higher level too. And of course, I went to an HBCU. I'm proud of it. So I can speak firsthand what I'm about to say. And I'm not hating on HBCUs. I love HBCUs, point blank, because they're not gonna allow you to fail. You know what I mean? They're gonna be there. You know what I mean? One of the first times in your life you're gonna get your hand held, and you can take the skills and not be a slave, be your own person, but it's the best environment conducively to bring forth, to elevate the kings and queens in terms of that intellectual level. You know what I mean? If you want to get guided. But even the HBCUs, low resources, mediocre food. In some cases, the food is close to proximity of like jail food. It depends. But then if you have money on campus, then you can get better food too. You can go to the canteen and something like that. You know what I mean? You don't have to go to the refac or whatever. Sometimes crazy living conditions. I don't want to say horrible, but crazy, like maybe mice, rats sometimes. And then in some cases, it's the opposite. You have the nicest areas in HBCU. I guess they're showing you poor and rich, whatever. But the first time I ever saw well, not the first time, but as an adult, seeing a mouse in the crib, first year in college. But that was just one negative thing. But I had a lot more positive things besides that. Also, I guess like when you compare HBCUs to like Ivy League schools, of course I'm reading my notes. I do not want to forget nothing. Smoke a lot of weed, but nah. When you compare HBCUs to how can you say Ivy League schools, it's a big differentiation. I know you're saying, okay, Ivy League schools got white money. Okay, we know that, but that's not equal. I don't like that, because now you're affecting the kids. Kids didn't do nothing. If this is a war, it's a war, but don't affect the kids. It's just like, I know you're gonna affect the kids, but as a being humane, you shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't have gourmet food on one side for Yale, Harvard, Stanford, whatever, and then if you go to, and I love these schools. If you go to Morgan State, you go to Howard, you go to North Carolina A&T, you go to FAMU. You know what I mean? If you go to South Carolina State, it might not be the best resources, Elizabeth City, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? That's not fair. I know life's not fair, but that's not right. You know what I mean? You can do things the right way or the wrong way. That's definitely not right. So here's my solution. To keep researching, to keep God first, keep striving, and we're gonna make it through it together. I know it sounds, like cliche, but I'm being serious right now. It's just like, we're gonna get through it. I know it. I have faith. And, like I said before, I'm just like a reporter or a broadcaster. You know what I mean? That's why I got my notes. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm just speaking the truth, and just to awaken other people, or to guide, or just to share light. You know what I mean? It's like a regular conversation with your people. You know what I mean? And of course, this is the end of episode 4. I love you, YouTube family and chosen ones. We made it to the end of another trial. We just finished the portal. Now we're like basically in the fall equinox to a certain degree, and entering also the winter equinox, which is coming soon too. Of course, ashe, ashe, ashe. You can save the content. Of course, you can like the content, subscribe to the content, download, share the videos, like the videos. You can respond, throw a comment down, you know, and of course, peace and fight, you know what I mean, for equality and for independence, you know what I mean. And like I always say, we are number one, our God is number one, and the journey is not done. Stay blessed, y'all. Also, congratulations, you know what I mean, for making it through this trial. You know, now you're on the other side. And I just wanted to make, this is like a short, sweet video. Season 2, someone asked before, season 2 is, like, I'm throwing history in. I do a lot of history in the first season. But this season, I'm doing more of current events, more things in terms of, you know, me being the ebony, you know, revolutionary. I'm doing more this season 2. I'm doing more things to help us in this real time. And also, season 2 was more the transition from 3D to 5D, because that's very current right now. I'll throw history here and there, like I do a little history in this episode as well. But yeah, man, just this time around, guys, living your truth. Exercise, eat correctly, try to stay stress free, you know, do your Orisha calls, do the Mayat 42 laws, do your Kemet yoga, kind of be plant based for a little bit while you transition into the winter. It depends on, you live like in a real cold state, you know. I live in Maryland, so it's like it's not cold, but it's not too cold. And also keep watching the Chosen One videos on YouTube. I listen to a lot, you know, I watch a lot. And also have fun this time around. Do some grounding while you can before it gets too cold. You know, try to get that electricity through your body, drink a lot of good water, and keep doing this to keep your vibration up as well, Chosen Ones. I love you, and have a blessed week. Peace.